The courtroom was too quiet. Even the air seemed to listen. My wife sat across from me, impeccable in her tailored suit, voice steady as she told the judge I was an unfit father. Her lawyer nodded, feeding her lines like oxygen. Every word she spoke tightened the rope around my name. When she said I was emotionally unstable, I didn't flinch. When she said I'd scared our daughter, I just looked at my hands. That was my strength. Silence. Then the judge asked if anyone had something else to say. My 6-year-old raised her hand, a small, trembling hand clutching her tablet. "Can I show you something Mommy doesn't know?" she whispered. The judge leaned forward. "Go ahead, sweetheart." She pressed play. The sound came first, laughter, sharp, breathless, my wife's. Then the image, her reflection in a mirror, half-dressed, whispering into the phone. A man's voice answered, not mine. The courtroom froze. My wife didn't look at me right away. She looked at the screen, eyes wide, mouth parting as her own betrayal filled the room. Her composure cracked, just slightly, but I saw it, a tremor beneath the performance. For months she had painted me as unstable, manipulative, dangerous. And I had believed, at least for a while, that maybe I was losing her for reasons I couldn't see. But now, watching her face drain of color, I saw everything. The late-night work calls, the locked phone, the way she smiled at the messages she'd never explain. It all snapped into focus. She'd built this divorce like a chess game, step by step, preparing to destroy me before I ever moved. She just never planned for our daughter to take the queen off the board. The court recessed for an unscheduled break. She wouldn't look at me as the bailiff guided her outside. Her lawyer whispered something frantic in her ear. I stayed seated, hands clasped, expression blank. Inside, though, something was shifting. Not anger, not relief, but clarity. I remembered every night she'd turned away in bed, every time she'd told me I was too intense, too cold, too much, and how she'd used my quiet as proof of guilt. While she was recording lies, I was raising a daughter who still believed in truth. That afternoon, I didn't speak a word in my defense. I didn't need to. The video spoke louder than any argument I could make. Still, I wanted to understand why. Later, when the court day ended, I drove past her lawyer's office and parked down the block. Watched her step out, trembling, talking on the phone. Her voice was low, frantic, but I heard one word, one name, enough to confirm everything. The man she'd called Richard in the video wasn't some fling. He was her boss. The same man who wrote the affidavit claiming I'd displayed aggressive tendencies. Her story was never about custody. It was about control, about protecting the affair that built her world and erasing me from it. A week later, the judge requested a private meeting. He'd reviewed the video, the metadata, the voice authentication. Everything was real. "She fabricated evidence," he said quietly. "Tried to frame you as unfit. We'll be filing charges." I nodded, calm. Not satisfaction, just stillness. When the final hearing came, she tried to speak. Her voice cracked. She said she'd been confused, pressured, not herself. The judge didn't buy it. Neither did I. When it was my turn to stand, I only said one sentence. My daughter told the truth. That's all that matters. The court awarded me full custody. She was left with nothing but her silence and her shame. I didn't see her again until the day she came to the house. Rain soaking her coat, mascara running down her face. She'd begged to talk, said she'd lost everything, that she didn't mean for it to go this far. I opened the door just enough for her to see our daughter behind me, safe, happy, drawing quietly on the floor. "She doesn't ask about you anymore," I said. Her lips trembled. "Please, I just want—" I closed the door. No shouting, no revenge speech. Just silence. The same silence she once called weakness. It was never weakness. It was precision. At night, when my daughter sleeps, I still think about that day in court. How calm she looked as she held the tablet. How much courage it took to expose the truth her mother buried. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if she hadn't pressed play. If the lie had lived longer. If I'd kept believing I was the problem. But I don't dwell on it. Some truths don't heal. They cauterize. I don't hate my ex-wife. I don't pity her either. I just understand her now. She thought destruction was power. I learned silence was stronger. In the end, all I had to do was wait. Because truth, no matter how long it sleeps, always wakes up. And when it does, it doesn't scream, it plays.